I bring you greetings on a Wednesday night in the middle of November. And I'm excited to introduce you to Dr. Jackie Henry. Jackie has started coming into our worship service more than a year and a half ago.
Yeah, 2020.
2020. You found us while we were online.
Yes.
And where did you come from?
Well, let's see. We spent a good bit of time in the Salisbury area of North Carolina and Greensboro, North Carolina. And then we made a jump to Jefferson City, Missouri, and have moved back and are so happy to be back.
So you have your doctorate in what?
Oh, it's in clinical psychology, and it's actually from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, where I studied several different, the clinical psychology program, and spent a good bit of time after my PhD in working on mindfulness and attending retreats and attending John Kabat-Zinn's mindfulness-based stress reduction classes and
stress reduction classes.
Yeah.
Can you bring those here for us right now?
Yes. Yes.
So a reason why Jackie is with me this evening as we record for our week is we're in a worship series called Be the Church. And those of you that have picked up one of these stickers or magnets know that there's 9 statements on them. In the first week, we did protect the environment, care for the poor, and embrace diversity. And those are a little bit challenging in themselves, but this past Sunday, just 3 days ago, our focus in worship was reject racism, forgive often, and fight for the powerless. Fight for the powerless. So reject, forgive, fight. Those can be very daunting words, and they can cause stress. And specifically for some of us that are very social justice oriented, we've been working at this for a long time. And so a piece of what was happening for me as your pastor and working on a sermon or a reflection, I've been calling them homilies in this worship series, is one of the lectionary texts for that day actually happened to be Psalm 46. And that just spoke to me. And when you read Psalm 46, specifically towards the end, God says, "Be still and know. Be still and know." And when you feel the stress level getting up to here, and you reject, and you're still racism, and you forgive not once but 70 times 7 as we're called to do, and there's still more forgiving to do of ourselves, of someone else, there becomes these moments when we're called to be contemplatives, where we're called to really find that essence of stillness within us, where we can truly tap into our creative belovedness, or just our belovedness, that we are sacred, holy people. This Sunday, on November the 20th, at 1:30, Peace Village, which is technically for 8 to 12-year-olds, is going to be an intergenerational event. And so you adults out there that want to be offered some mindfulness practices, Jackie and her team, there's going to be 3 or 4 of us offering mindfulness practices. Have we got those settled yet?
Yeah, it'll be a smorgasbord. Being from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, we know what smorgasbords are. And it'll be a platter. It'll be a bit of mindful eating and a bit of mindful being and a bit of mindful practices. I can't help but say, be the church. So that's first before these other things. And so being able to be, and be able to feel yourself and to be able to label and be able to acknowledge and let go of judgment at the same time. These are all the kinds of things that we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at some vignettes and what What would you do? How can you pause and not be reactive so that you can respond without jumping into getting on the train, as some of my mindfulness mentors have said. We'll be doing some creativity things and just some being, being able to give permission to ourselves to just be. We're so driven, we believe that what we do is the most important thing, but being is just as important. And so that's basically, if you come, expect to see a variety of activities, and all of them looking back at ourselves and how we feel. What are we thinking? What are we noticing? Without judging it, with just noticing what's happening in the moment.
So Sunday, some of you are thinking, Tamara, that's a lot going on Sunday. And it's true. It's a big Sunday, because at 11 o'clock, we're going to have an abbreviated worship service that's going to flow into a Thanksgiving meal. There's going to be turkey and ham provided, and we're inviting you to bring a side or a dessert. And then shortly into that meal, because we eat fairly quickly, we're going to have a time of prayer together, and then literally we're going to move into a congregational meeting where we look at our relational covenant that we've had for a year. That's a living document, and when we voted and approved on that document, we said to ourselves, in a year we're going to come back and see how we're doing with this. So we're going to take 15 minutes or so and really look at that document. And then that will move us into voting and approving our next year's council. And then we're going to have some conversation around finances and budget and how we understand what's going on with our financial situation here. And then that's going to move into a very brief introduction of a ministry proposal, naming our campus, that will then take us into 2023. Then that will all finish with a benediction. And then at 1:30, you can either come for part of that or come back or whatever it works for you on this day. At 1:30, then Mindful Moments will begin, which will be with our Peace Village children, and that will last about 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. So I hope that you find a way to join us this Sunday. And if you're not able to join us for one of those pieces of our time together to be the church, on November the 27th, we begin Advent with a series called Reflecting the Sacred, which really spins out of this. And know that Jackie is a piece of our WISE team, and she's offered to take more of the reins and help us shepherd our WISE team, which is about our mental health. And I bet that we're going to have more mindful trainings coming up in 2023. So if you can't come this Sunday the 20th, I'm sure that there will be more opportunities into next year. I hope you have a great week. As winter is here with cold weather here in these mountains, let us know if you need something, if you need heat, if you need blankets, if you have neighbors that you know are in need. We want to be mindful of that and be neighbors helping neighbors. I hope to see you next week. And until then, may you know that there is a sacred piece of you to tap into and to find literally just 5 minutes just to be still and to let go of those things that are causing you stress or that mind is going 90 to nothing. Allow yourself some grace and find that stillness to listen for the heartbeat of God. Until next week, see you then. There we go.
Peace. And if it's difficult to let go of those thoughts, if it's difficult to let go, we can talk about that. That's some of the things that we'll probably be doing on Sunday. We can do throughout the year, is being able to, how do we let go of those thoughts that we grip so hard? So